What is happening, everyone? Welcome to a new year. Welcome to 2022. And before we move forward with the new year, let's take a look back at the year 2021, which I hope was at least okay for you. I hope that you guys had a good year last year, a few days ago. and of course, I wish you the best for this new year that we are in right now. So before we move forward in 2022, I wanted to give you guys my personal favorite albums of 2021. Highly recommended to you guys. You know, they're going to be from all different genres, so hopefully you're open a little bit. But I have some, these are my top albums for 2021. And by the way, none of these albums are in a particular order. These are just my favorite of the year. So the first album is from Javi. The album Nafs at Peace. Javi are a jazz fusion group based out of Pakistan. This album is probably my strongest recommendation for you guys out of my list. It combines elements, of course, of jazz, of classical, of hip-hop, and North Indian music. The end result is just this very diverse and exciting release for this past year. Moods of quiet contemplations and divine fervor. It has sacred-like devotional melodies also, which are really interesting. It just adds a deep sense of spirituality into the music, even when no words are spoken. From flute solos to raindrop-like tabla beats to smooth jazz guitar, dancing with soulful sarangi. This release to me has something for everyone. I think that there's some track in here that you guys will enjoy no matter where your tastes lie. And my favorite tracks for this album would be Raga Gurji Todi and Straight Path. Oh, that's awesome. My next would be Dikaji with her album Forget Me Nots. This was also just a really fun discovery that I had found last year in 2021. It's one of my favorites from the last year. She combines this endless experience of progressive folk and autumnal chamber music filled with mystical callings, sensitive melodies, and a lot of heart in her art and creativity. Listening to that album feels like a hike through a misty wood, with each track taking us further into this scenic wanderlust. There's the stellar and very dynamic opener of Forest, the effervescent swaying of millions of flashes, and the approachable yet punchy scriptwriter. There's a certain amount of artistic integrity in her work that I find myself personally very attracted to. And there's no harm, of course, in some of the songs that she's covered on her own from some of my favorite artists, David Sylvian, Peter Gabriel, Chelsea Wolfe, and even Comatose by Arion, which is like one of the few songs I like from them. My favorite tracks from that album would be The Forest and Gloomy Flowers Bloom. Just mystical swings, just being called into the forest. I love that. Awesome instrumentation all around. Interesting vocal lines. Moving on, my next album, we're going to move a little bit into the electronic genre with Igloo Ghost, Leyline Eon. Producer Igloo Ghost has been one of my favorite discoveries in the past recent years, primarily through his EP of Clear Tame and Steel Mogu. Leyline Eon shows him kind of taking that sound and expanding his soundscapes while still staying true to his strengths that he showed in those past albums. Leyline Eon is a new universe with its own language, music, and culture. The organic and hallucinogenic sounds that Igloo comes up with are filled with glitchy goodness and enchantments and wonky wonder. With the coos of an alien kindergarten, the beats still drop hard, the tempos rave from glitch hop into cinematic wonder spheres. Igloo is just unmistakable and extremely distinctive in his style and his approach to musical world building. My favorite tracks here would be Pure Grey Circle and Sly Fossil. Beautiful opening track for the album, but then you move into yeah. Moving on, my next favorite track is definitely the best hip-hop album of 2021. To me, this is an obvious choice. This is Tyler, the Creator with Call Me If You Get Lost. Tyler, the Creator, he has been a renaissance man ever since Flower Boy, Igor, and now with Call Me. I mean, he has just been on a run when it comes to creativity and albums. There's still bangers and hard hitters galore mixed with bright synths and sleek keys, and the reoccurring lounge theme that he fits into this mountaintop of a career that he's built for himself. Also, the production has taken a very noticeable step up, rocking the subs when appropriate, but allowing a lot of room, like I said, for these cutting synths and tender textures. And his lyrics have moved a little bit more from the personal nature into a little bit of braggadocio, but you know what? That is okay, especially in the way that he approaches it. Favorite tracks are Corso and Massa. My final favorite album from 2021, I'm going to hand it off to the technical death metal band Obscura with their album of Valediction. This is to me an excellent exercise in technical death metal with a touch, just a touch of neoclassical progression and of course a healthy amount of fretless bass. And while it doesn't reinvent the genre, I think that it decidedly reinvigorates it. It feels melodically fresh with lots of variety. I think especially the guitar and bass work intertwined with blazing succession. I love the double bass gallops galore, and the vocals are especially monstrous in here. My favorite tracks here would be Forsaken, Devoured Usurper, and The Neuromancer. Gotta love the fretless though. And then moving from this into... Hold on, this to me is gold. This is great. Hold on. Oh yeah. So those are my top and favorite albums of 2021. If you're interested, I hope that you go and check them out. Check them out because they're really good. Now, just for some honorary mentions, just because I wrote them down, and they don't quite hit the top list, but I do think that they're worthy of being mentioned. Let me just actually fold it here. Hiatus Coyote with Mood Valiant, I think is a nice pop neo-soul album. Has a lot of nice musicianship in there. I wish that there was a little bit more exploration or a little bit more creativity, and diversity in the sound, but it is a really nice and pleasant listening. Let's move on with Mastodon, Hushed and Grim. The only reason that this one isn't on my top albums list is because I need more time with it, so I didn't feel comfortable putting it up there. But that album is a very, very strong return from Mastodon. A lot of variety in their sound. This is probably their most progressive album in just the amount of styles that they're going for, and I think that they pull off each one actually really well. Once again, this could absolutely be on the top 21 list, but I just need a little more time with it, so it's an honorary mention. Alton Goon with Yol, the Anatolian rock band. They bring a little bit of synth pop in their sound here, and I think with the addition of the synth pop, sometimes it sounds nice, but they kind of lose a little bit of their roots, which I really, really enjoy. The psychedelic folk element that they bring into their music. There's a little bit of a nuanced heart there. So I wish that there was a little bit more of that, but there is a good amount of it. I just think that the synth pop direction that they take this album in kind of makes it wane a little bit from what my personal likings are with them. But once again, worthy to be on a list. And then Lingua Ignota with Sinner Get Ready. This is a really, really tough listen. This one I feel deserves to be on any 2021 top list, but it's an album that honestly I've listened to once and I don't plan to listen to ever again. It is just the most raw, confessional of an album. It is filled with anger and despair and sadness. Lingua, her delivery is just volatile and venomous. It's nerve-wracking, it's unstable, and yet it is probably the purest release that I've heard this year, stemming from her abuses and dealings with religion and hypocrisies and her thoughts. I think it's a very honest self-look into her. And I think for her to be brave to show that to us, I think is just honorable, worth mentioning. I mean, it is deeply disturbing. It is filled with real pain. It's kind of like, this is the best way I can describe that album. It's like the musical equivalent of the movie Martyrs. Like, I can admire it and there's a story there, but I only want to see it once. I hope that you guys have a wonderful 2022. I hope that you had a great 2021, at least musically, because there was a lot going on in music. Let me know your favorite releases of 2021. Of course, if you do check out, or if you're already familiar with any of the artists here or the albums here, let me know your thoughts as well in the comments. Hope you take a listen to at least some of them. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a wonderful year. Thank you as always for sticking with me here on the channel. Let's make it a great one, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.